Joe Biden's pistol brace ban. Guys, you've got questions, we've got answers. Hey guys, Aaron Dorr here with the Missouri Firearms Coalition. As you guys can imagine, over the last couple of weeks, we have received hundreds of questions from you guys, other gun owners, politicians, reporters, everybody else asking us the same question. Does Missouri's SAPA law protect us from Joe Biden's recent order, which makes it a felony crime to have an unregistered pistol brace? It's a complicated question, a lot of law involved in here. We had to get it right. So this video is going to answer that question. And I'm going to tell you guys right now, it's not great news. That's the short version. But there's already a solution in place. We know what to do. It's already being drafted, and there is going to be an outcome on this, we hope, yet this session. It's going to come down to, as is always the case, it's going to come down to how much pressure do the politicians here in Jeff City get from gun owners in their districts. So stay tuned, guys, for that. Much more to come on the action items in the days ahead. But for right now, here's where things stand. Last year, Joe Biden signed an executive order banning a pistol brace. And when he signs the order, he then gives it to the ATF. The ATF then takes the order and they translate that into federal bureaucratic ease. And they have added that order now into the NFA Act. The NFA Act was passed almost 100 years ago, and it's the bureaucratic process that the ATF now uses to regulate all kinds of accessories, suppressors, bump stocks, pistol braces now, and all kinds of other items, machine guns, switchblade knives. It's kind of the catch-all for all the tyranny that Congress doesn't want to vote on. So all they have to do is they have the ATF make a new federal rule, and they can regulate these items, having never had the bill passed in Congress by our representatives in D.C. So that's what's happened right now. The order has been published by the ATF. And what that means is that on May 30 of this year, every single American who has a pistol brace has three choices. Number one, surrender them to the federal government. Number two, register them with the federal government via the ATF. Or option C, felony charges. Felony charges. And I want to be clear on this. We're not talking about 6 or 8 people who own these. The government themselves estimates that 10 to 40 million of these are in circulation. 10 to 40 million gun owners are now looking at federal charges, felony federal charges, by the middle of May. That's kind of where things are. Now, for those who are asking, what is a pistol brace? This is a pistol brace. Very small piece of plastic, little nylon, some Velcro, and some cheap threads. This, by the end of May, will be illegal. If you're asking yourself, what is that versus a buttstock? It's a good question. This is a buttstock. This, which looks almost the same, is 100% legal. You can buy it online right now. No big deal. Probably spend $60. That's perfectly legal. But if you have the other item, by the end of May, you're going to be facing felony charges. So that's where things stand right now. Some of you have already called us out on this, and some of you have already said, well, it only applies if the item is attached to your pistol. The brace by itself, not a problem. But the brace attached to the firearm, that's a problem. That's not the case. That's not the case. The ATF said that last fall when they were drafting this rule. But if you read the rule now, that is no longer the case. Any possession of a pistol brace, attached or not, will get you a felony charge unless it is registered with the ATF. So that's where we are. Now, your question to us is an obvious one. We've got SAPA. So Missouri cops only enforce Missouri law when it comes to firearms, ammo, and accessories, which is what we're talking about right here. So doesn't SAPA law protect us? And the answer is no. And here's the reason why. Because long before we were on the scene, lazy politicians who did not want to deal with this issue took the lazy, easy way out, and they have coupled Missouri's gun laws in some cases with federal gun laws, specifically in this case. I'll show it to you right here. This is Missouri Code Section 571.020. It covers what you can own, what you cannot own, what's legal, what's not legal. Very standard code section. But what you're going to see here in the middle is 4 items the state of Missouri has chosen to not define, and instead they took the easy way out and they have let the federal government define these items. Here it is. Section 6, you've got letters A, B, C, and D. And right there, letter B, it says a short-barreled rifle or shotgun. An attached pistol brace or any pistol brace has now been redefined by the ATF, totally, again, bypassing Congress. They have now declared a pistol brace to be considered an SBR, a short-barreled rifle. And because Missouri Code lets these 4 items, again, there's 4 items here, machine guns, short-barreled rifles, silencers, or switchblade knives, because these items are defined in our state code as being a federal issue. When the feds redefined a short-barreled rifle, that means that Missouri Code now makes it a crime for you and I to own a pistol brace. And what that means is that Missouri cops will be expected to enforce any violation on the pistol brace language. And that means that there's no protection for gun owners, even though we have SAPA, because, again, state lawmakers way back in the day did not do their job and define these items in state code. Instead, they have coupled us with federal law, in this case, the NFA items. And so because of that, we have an open door here. So any future redefinitions of these items, a machine gun, a short-barreled rifle, a silencer, or a switchblade knife, if the ATF redefines any one of these items going forward, Missouri cops will be required by Missouri law to enforce it. If that makes you mad, you're not alone. It should make you mad. It enraged us when this all got put together, because this never should have happened. This is a problem we're seeing across the country right now, where state lawmakers are giving up so much of their authority, and they're ceding so much of the rights that they have been given by we the people, allowing the federal government to define these terms. So our plan right now going forward is we need to get into the code, the section right here. Again, it's 571.020. We have to get into that code section, and we will be defining these 4 items. Again, machine guns, SBRs, silencers, and switchblade knives. We have to define them by Missouri code, in Missouri code, using Missouri language, not federal language. What that does then is 2 things. And the biggest one of all, number 1, we stop the blood loss. Because again, right now, the feds can redefine any one of those 4 items today, tomorrow, 20 years from now. And if they redefine them, because we have synced up and linked up our state code to federal code, Missouri cops need to follow it, need to obey it, need to enforce it. And so the first thing we're going to do by defining these things on our own in our own state code is we're going to sever that tie once and for all. And we're going to finally decouple our gun laws from federal definitions. It's going to accomplish that, number 1. And number 2, what it's going to do is give us the ability down the road to run legislation here in Jeff City to legalize these items, because I have no problem saying it. I think Missourians should have the right to own machine guns. Absolutely. Missourians should have the right to own silencers. Absolutely. Missourians should have the right to own SBRs. Absolutely. And on it goes. We've never been opposed to any of that. The problem right now is it's a federal violation because of how this code section is written. So we're going to define these 4 items, sever the link between the federal government and the ATF in particular, and our gun rights here in Missouri. We're going to button that up. And then later on, we have the ability to come back and try to overturn these code sections and legalize these items here in Missouri. This is the plan. This is what we're going to have to do. And I want to be clear on this. These 4 items are already illegal here in Missouri because of the way it's written. These 4 items remain illegal because it's tied to federal law. So we're not going to change any of that. We're not going to make these items illegal. They already are illegal. But by tying this and defining this into our federal, our state code, we can finally have control of our own state again. So guys, that's the plan. It's already being drafted. We have Representative Jared Taylor. Well, he was. Now he's termed out. I keep calling him Representative Jared Taylor who works on our team, is drafting this as we speak. You're going to see this language coming out from us very quickly. And then, as always, we're going to count on you to help us crank up the heat here in Jeff City. Every rep in the building right now, I believe, with almost no exceptions, and the same thing in the Senate, they're all hearing from gun owners right now on this. But so far what they're hearing is, we're scared. What do we do? We're going to switch that around, guys. We're going to change that to, we're pissed off. Here's the plan, and we expect you guys to do your job and fix this session. The good news is that in all of our meetings this session in Jeff City, everyone understands that if they don't deal with this, if they leave Missourians exposed to felony charges by the middle of May, and if they expect Missouri cops to be allowed to enforce this because they don't want to deal with it, they all understand loud and clear they're going to be held accountable for that. And guys, we've conveyed that very, very clearly. So I know it's not the answer anybody wanted to hear, but again, this problem predates us by a very long time. Previous iterations of lawmakers didn't want to deal with this. We're going to do it. We're going to fix it. We're going to redefine it. We're going to sever the tie between the feds and the state of Missouri, and we will, by God and with God's grace, pass this session, and again, get back to where Missouri cops will not be allowed to be weaponized by Joe Biden to enforce a violation of these 4 items. Much more to come, guys. Action links to come. In the meantime, share this video everywhere. We need guys and gals across the state to know what's going on and to begin putting pressure on their lawmakers here in Jeff City. Again, action links are coming, guys. Stay tuned and join the fight today at joinmofc.com.